What's up, gamers? Agent Normix back today for another video. Today we're going to be talking about the second part of the spooky event that got updated last night after I posted my video. So feels bad, but it's okay because we're back today to do the second part of the spooky event. They actually didn't change the spooky event itself, but they added some new stuff for fishing. So when the Fearmonger is active in Skyblock, so that's going to be the 3 hours before the spooky event, the hour during the event, and then an hour after, that whole time you're able to essentially fish up these spooky sea creatures. There's 5 of them, and they each have their own special ability, and they do their own, they drop their own unique items. So these sea creatures drop unique items. 2 of them here, they show the Soul Whip, which is essentially a really strong sword from one of the highest level mobs. It requires fishing level 26 to use and catch the mob. So pretty high fishing level, actually. It's even higher than the Yeti. So very interesting. On top of that, it's a legendary sword, not a fishing rod. So essentially it like literally throws a whip in an arc shape and does quite a bit of damage. And I think it requires Catacombs 30 to use in dungeons, so no one can use it. But the few people that can, let's just say, pretty OP. The Deep Sea Orb is a Reforged Stone, which gives you the Submerged Reforged to your armor. And the cool thing about that is that the Submerged gives you 1% sea creature chance on a mythic piece. So you can get 4 extra sea creature chance, which is really cool because before you have to use Renown to get 1% more bonus stats on your armor to get the sea creature chance. Now you can just use this orb. Also talks about spooky bait. It basically gives it a different use. Before it used to like make it so that like you don't fish up any sea creatures. Now it actually increases fishing speed and the rate of spooky sea creatures. And then the Water Hydra head and the Squid Boots got some more sea creature chance, whatever. They added an announcement for the Fearmonger, so you actually know when he's in the game, so you can go fish for the pets. Now, this is what I think is one of the most important things that I think could really make the Shredder a viable weapon. So Shredder's now easier to max, way easier. Mine's already maxed out and I barely used it. And the Shredder's now a fishing weapon, which means it can have sword enchants. The fact that that's the case, I'll go into game and show you, but this is kind of nuts. Like, people are kind of, this is like underlooked. Like, we'll take a look at that in a bit when I go into game. Fixed looting on fishing rods, cool. Rebalance damages fishing rods, cool. And then now this is also cool. Change the damage bonus from rods versus sea creatures from 2x to 3x, so you do more damage to sea creatures with your rod. That'll be really strong for the Shredder. So I'm looking forward to that. And is there anything else here? I don't think there's anything else really here. Oh yeah, sea creatures are now immune to the AOTD ability, which is really nice because it's just annoying when people just freaking, hit your sea creature and then just it would be flung away. So we're going to go into game and look at a few other of the items that they added. They added some pretty cool items. So we'll go into the game right now. Alrighty, we are now in game and I could go ahead and show you guys a little more in depth on the newer items. So there's 5 new sea creatures. They said the first one's a Scarecrow, which doesn't drop anything interesting, just basically purple and green candy, some other garbage. The Nightmare drops one new item, which is really the Lucky Hoof. So if we go on to the AH and look at this item, essentially it gives you a higher chance to get more trick-or-treat chests, so you get a 1% higher chance. And then there's a rare version as well, which this one, it's not even on the AH, but this one gives 2% chance to find trick-or-treats. This one's fake, as you can see by the recompilators on the side, those weird things next to rare. That just means it's a fake, so don't get tricked by that. So that's a pretty nice item if you're going to be doing the spooky event. So, I definitely pick one of those up, at least the uncommon one. Why not? It's not that much. Then you have I believe the werewolf, which this one's cool. So it drops the Deep Sea Orb and werewolf skin. The Deep Sea Orb is that Reforged stone I was talking about, but the werewolf skin, I actually have one on me, is really the way to... Remember how last video I was talking about that armor that we found on the Reforged guy? Well, you can actually craft werewolf armor with this werewolf skin. So you get 24 of it to craft it, and it's or actually not 24, whatever this is, the math. I forgot what it is. Probably a lot. It's probably like 96 or something. But yeah, this stuff is really this is really good. You could see here that it gives you 10 ferocity for each piece, like I said last time, which I think is very strong. So I'm going to definitely be grinding this up because it might take me some time to get to this point. Once I get the armor, I'll definitely make a separate video on it. But the 10 ferocity, and then on top of that, upon activating ferocity, heals players within 25 blocks for 10% of your defense, and you gain 50 defense for 5 seconds stacking. This armor, I think, is going to be extremely overpowered. Like, this is going to be insane, because you could use this as a healer in dungeons, because you can also turn it into the dungeon item. You can use it as a tank, you can use it as a berserker. So if you know, doing that is like amazing. And let's remember, the tiger actually stacks with it, so you can get so much ferocity that you could probably have, like, you can probably triple strike if you get all the things I'm going to show you to make the best setup. I'm going to try to grind for that to get enough werewolf skin, so that'll be for another video, which I'm looking forward to. Now, the other two things that are on here is going to be the Phantom Fisher and the Grim Reaper. So the Phantom Fisher gives you, again, the Deep Sea Orb, but the Phantom Rod. And the Phantom Rod is interesting as well. It basically, when you hit someone, so I'll get it up right here. So when you hit like a mob, basically it pushes them away, and it also deals massive damage. So you could basically like hook onto someone and just spam click, and it does a ton of damage. It requires Catacombs 24, so it's a little bit of a lower, requirement. So if you're in that range, definitely I would go pick one of those up. It's not a bad item to use. So, yes, the last guy is the Grim Reaper. Grim Reaper basically has a soul fragment that it can drop in the Vampire Fang. So the soul fragment is how to craft that other whip, the, forgot whatever it's called, the soul whip. So if we look here, soul whip, oops, not the commander whip. Let's go to highest price. Yeah, so right here, so it has that flay in the arc, and you deal a lot of damage. So really solid one as well. That one requires Catacombs level 30. So, like I said, probably harder to get. But yeah, those are kind of the main things they've added into this. Now, the Shredder, here's the interesting thing. The Shredder has become a really solid weapon because you can add enchants to it. And if we look at the bottom here, it says, it's kind of hard to see, but it has 50 ferocity at the top there. So you get plus 50 ferocity with this, meaning with the tiger pet, you can have 100% ferocity, over 100% even. So that is really strong. And eventually when we get the werewolf set, we'll be able to literally do so much damage. So I'm actually looking forward to this. I'm going to also put enchants on it right now. I'm going to probably add a God Book and Crit 6. And we're going to go test out the damage on this, because we can try it on Slayer mobs. We can't do it on Zombie, but we can try it on Tarantula, and I'll show you the results, because it might actually be better than using an AOTD for the damage. So let me go ahead and enchant this, and I'll be back with you guys in a second. Alright guys, one thing I forgot to mention before we actually enchant the Shredder, the last item we didn't look at that's actually pretty important is the Vampire Fang. So what this does, and I'll show you on the AH what it is it's the first ever mythic pet. So pets typically go up to legendary, but with this item, Vampire Fang, yeah, there's not that many on the auction house. They're going for a lot though, 24 million. This basically makes your bat pet mythic, and it gives you 5% more sea creature chance, and the fourth perk added, it gives you a 25% higher chance to capture those spooky creatures. So definitely, if you're gonna have a bat pet out for the spooky event, you're want to get this item. It's pretty rare, so hopefully, I'm gonna definitely grind for this as well. But yeah, back to enchanting the rod. Alrighty guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and combine the Crit 6 here with the God Book. There we go, and let's see how many levels this costs. Perfect. So now this should do a ton of damage. Hopefully, I'm gonna go ahead and start we're gonna do this with spiders, because the spider boss you can actually hit with the fishing rod. The Revenant you cannot. So I'm gonna go ahead and just spawn the Slayer boss here, and I'm gonna go ahead and get to the point where it's spawned, and then we'll see how much damage we can do to the boss with a tiger pet and this max out rod. So I'll be with you guys in 1 second. Alright, we're about to spawn the boss here. I'm using full superior armor, by the way, as well for this test, and here we go. So here it comes. Oh wait, I didn't set a tighter. Oh, Let me switch to tiger. No, that's armor. Back. Okay. Tiger. There we go. Hey, this guy's killing my boss. Alright, let's see. I can't see how much that is, but that's doubling. It's like 120k. Wow. Dude, these things are getting obliterated. It looks like it's about 60k per hit. Let's just see here. So, I couldn't tell. That was like the freaking fire aspect was on it. So 66,000 damage with the tiger, but if it gets a double strike, that's 120,000 damage per hit, and you could just spam it like this. So, and I'm wearing full superior, by the way. That's, in my opinion, really strong. Like, and keep in mind, I'm not even putting fabled on this. It has the other one, I believe, the treacherous reforge. If it had fabled, it would be doing even more damage. I don't know if I'll switch to that. Maybe I'll switch to it when I get the werewolf. I use this as my primary fishing rod, but maybe what I'll do is I'll just make this my weapon instead and use the Rod of the Sea, because it's actually just flat out better in regards to, you know, sea creature chance. So maybe that's what I'll do, and I'll put fabled on this, and I'll recombobulate it. That actually might make us even stronger. And then remember, that's double damage. And if we get werewolf armor in the future, when I put that on and do that, it's going to be up to triple striking, because this gives 50 ferocity. A level 100 tiger doubles that to 100, and it has a 10 more ferocity, making it 120. And then the armor set from the werewolf gives like another 40. So you're almost looking at triple striking, which would be 180,000 damage per hit. And it's kind of like not really capped, because you could just spam this, you know, really fast. So honestly, like, I'm going to try to grind for that in the next spooky events. And I'll try to get a video out as soon as possible for that, because I don't really want to spend that much money, because I know it's going to go down in price for the werewolf armor. So, yeah, guys, that's pretty much the second part of the update. So I'm really looking forward to, you know, going and grinding the spooky event again. They did a fantastic job making the spooky event a lot better. So, yeah, with that being said, guys, I hope you have a nice day. Bye!